leather gloves, we're slapping in hams. Popcorn and peanuts, we're working the stands. Pink cotton candy, love on a stick. He's chasing the beer that circle the lips. Play ball, play ball. Load up the bases and smack it right over the wall. Play ball.
Play ball. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Laughter Saves Lives, live here from Strong Island Television and Paradise Studios.
We have lost Rich. Oh, there he is. Never mind.
I'm in the middle of the intro.
We lost Rich.
From beautiful, I see two ears next to you. I see two little doggy.
Yeah.
From beautiful Massapequa, I am home again, even though I wanted to be in the studio this week, in Belmore, Long Island, home of my Greek neighbors who are wonderful, wonderful people. Once gave me a chunk of feta cheese, huge chunk of feta cheese. Yes, huge. We have Rich Walker broadcasting tonight from his home. Rich, where do you live again?
I'm in Deer Park.
Deer Park, and we have our producer, Butch Seltzer, getting screen time again with his beautiful pup there, Rocco.
Well, he's not Rocky. And he's a Boston Terrier. He's not a pug.
Terrier.
So, right. Hey, John, who is this show brought to you by?
This show is brought to you by Barish and McGarry. Barish and McGarry, handling all your law stuff. There they are, lawyers for the 9/11 community, Barish and McGarry. I called on Michael this weekend. He was in Florida. My cousin had a situation, and Michael called her within a day, and she was, really gave us some good advice. So Michael is a wonderful man, and we love being affiliated with Barish and McGarry, the main sponsors for the next year of the Laughter Saves Lives Comedy Tour and Foundation. Rich Walker, how are you?
How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm
so glad to be here. What is that baseball cap you're wearing?
That is the Steven Stiller race that they do every year, the Tunnel to Tower, in memory of Steven, who ran through the tunnel on 9/11 and was lost. They do such good work for veterans, build houses for veterans.
That's awesome.
I think they've built, Rich, for disabled veterans, over 20 homes. And I'm sorry, I'm throwing out a number because I know it was like 13 or 14 a few years ago.
In that area.
Why is Butch? What do you do? I mean, Butch, why you're lonely?
I'm lonely. I'll see you later.
Look at Ryan.
Cat walking
Look at the dog. Look at the dog. He is so cute, that pup, isn't he, Rich?
That is adorable. Is that a Boston Terrier?
That is a Boston Terrier. A purebred Boston Terrier.
He is so cute. All right.
Loves his daddy.
Butch will be back. Butch will be back a few times. Butch will be back a few times. So I have to apologize to you because I know we're not the most organized, and I know you get a little frustrated with us, Rich, with your text messages.
I don't.
With your text messages.
I expect it.
That's what.
I'm like, you know what? I may or may not. I tell my wife, I may or may not be doing a show tonight. We'll find out if he double booked me. I'm just mad that you double booked me on the night you were going to have Lou Gossett Jr.
Oh, that was bad. We played that show last week, by the way.
Yeah.
But listen.
Why was it bad?
What was what bad? No,
the Lou Gossett Jr. show.
No, that I was supposed to have you on the Lou Gossett show.
Yeah.
But I had a horrible vertigo attack. I call them attacks. Whatever they are. Right over there on my couch, down in the basement here.
Yeah.
And the week before I had a bad one, but this was the worst I've had in years. And I haven't had one before the one last Monday, I think about a year and a half, 2 years.
Well, tell everybody what you're talking about. You're prone to vertical attacks.
Not vertical. Vertigo.
Vertigo
would be good because I was horizontal.
So what is the room spinning?
It's worse than that. It's worse than that. when you get a real bad one, first I just turn white and my whole body just starts sweating. All right, sweating sweat, and then I can't move. I can't move my head, and I couldn't even open my eyes for 5 hours. I was like this. Look, I was trying to open my eyes a little bit. The lights were off. Couldn't do it. And then finally, I was able to stand after taking a Dramamine about an hour after that. But at one point, I had to pee, and I couldn't move off the couch.
You said your wife had to help you.
Well, I wasn't going to say that on the show, but so I said you got to get. I said you got to get me something to pee in, maybe something like this.
She brought you a long garden hose that went from the couch to the bathroom, right?
No, but that would have worked. Maybe she could have brought me something like this, right? It's a nice big opening, right? You know what she brings me, Rich? You know the detergent, Ivory, or the detergent you pour in your wash machine?
Yeah.
Do you know the top of those, what they look like?
The cup.
No, the very top has a spout. So
right.
the opening is like this big. And she thought that little of me that thinks that I would have fit in that opening. Is that depressing?
That's sad.
I was in my worst ever, and I'm like, are you kidding? Are you really serious? She goes, well, maybe. I go, no, not even. Yeah. Maybe. Please give me the benefit of the doubt. Anyway.
Well, I'm concerned. Did you ever have your blood sugar checked? Do you think
well,
that you could have...
Well, that's another thing. I am diabetic, but this has nothing to do with that. I have Meniere's disease. I lost hearing in one ear. And
right.
It's the crystals. You got to do the exercise, the Epley maneuver, where you got to bend back, turn your head, then turn it the other way.
So you've checked your sugar level, right?
Yes, it's nothing to do with that. Yes.
Okay.
But I did also, in the middle of this, get my blood work back, and my sugar was up again. And I said, you know what? I got to start taking my medications. I got to start eating better. So I went to a nutritionist this week.
Yeah.
And, this is so freaking cool. You see this on my arm?
Yeah.
Now I'm going to go back in 2 weeks. She's going to zap me, and I'm writing down everything I eat, and she's going to see after I ate something what my sugar does for over 2 weeks. Isn't that cool?
That is cool. What is that? Is that the new
It's a tracker. It's just a tracker that's stuck on the arm. So she's going to take a little zapper, like in the supermarket when you do, and zap that.
That's not the one you can put up to your phone and it tells you your sugar level?
No. I wasn't going to spring for that one. That one was an extra $5.
No, it's a lot more than that.
It was an extra $5, and for my health and my life, I wasn't springing.
I said forget.
I know.
You do draw the line. Nah, I don't need it.
But you know what? I'm not going to get into nutrition and all that stuff. I'm no expert. But you know what she told me? I knew bagels were bad for you. I know bagels are the worst. Bagels are 5 pieces of bread. The same carbs.
So is a wrap. A wrap is just as big.
I have some wraps that you're right. It's squished bread. That's all it is.
Right.
So anyway, on the way back, my daughter. Okay, I see you, Butch. On the way back, my daughter, we went to get her COVID shot at Stony Brook.
Right.
And just by coincidence, I got an assignment today. I'm teaching at Stony Brook. The fire marshal's on campus, a class.
That's great.
Yep, nice and close to home. Make some money for the family. And my daughter had 4 molars pulled this week and the shot. She wanted a rice ball. I stopped at Uncle Giuseppe's.
How's their rice ball?
We want to get them as a sponsor. And our new VP in charge of sales, Les Degen, is working on this. Let's bring Les in and talk to him about
Yes.
We are working.
He's been waiting.
Now, Les Degen is here.
Thank you.
He was waiting in the dugout.
Yes. Les, I went. Now, as you know, I was at Uncle Giuseppe's this week, and we want them bad, Les.
We're gonna get them. They're very interested, and I got to tell you, I am so excited to be coming on board as the vice president of the sponsorship. John, is it okay if I very briefly tell all the viewers how we came to this arrangement?
You know what? I didn't even know you were the vice president. So yes, tell him how we
Okay,
came.
well,
I'm
let me,
kidding.
just a
I'm
quick
kidding.
story. For
Yes.
years and years,
Yes.
John has been trying to recruit me
Woo,
as
woo.
vice president of sponsorship. So finally, a few nights ago, he took me to Peter Luger's in Great Neck.
Yes.
It's funny, at the next table was Steve Cohen and Francisco Lindor of
Yes.
the Mets. They were working out their deal. He overheard it. And let's just say, after all this time trying to get me, Rich, how could I possibly turn down $500,000 a year, a private jet, and a 30-minute spot comedy on every Laughter Saves Live show? It was an offer I couldn't refuse. I'm glad to be on board.
I think you overheard Steve Cohen numbers and not John Larocchia numbers.
Well, I'll tell you, John Santa would have killed to have been there that night.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. Now, Rich, Les Degen's on board. Tell him a sponsor you think is a good fit for Laughter Saves Lives that we should approach. Because Les is taking notes right now.
I'm taking notes.
Yeah. What do you think, Rich?
A good sponsor for
Yes.
Laughter Saves Lives.
Yes.
You know what would be good? Like
Yes.
Kidda,
Kidda.
the one who makes the fire
Yes.
extinguishers and
Butch
alarms.
was working on them at one point and screwed that up. So he lost them. He insulted them in some way. I think he asked for some Frio.
Did you say Kidder? Kidder?
E.
The fire,
K-I-D-D-E.
the fire alarm company, right?
Well, also First Alert is
First
another
Alert.
one. That's a national company.
And Joe's Deli makes a great salami sandwich.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to have them on board.
All right, I'll hit them all up on LinkedIn, especially Joe's Deli.
LinkedIn. Les Degen is trying to teach me more about LinkedIn.
That's right.
What is my
I
bio
can't.
say?
I hate LinkedIn.
Why?
I don't know anything about it. Everybody sends me to friend them. It doesn't. I don't know.
It's a good networking tool, but you have to have like a nice resume to be on there.
Well, the corporate world, not for entertainers, is it?
But you
Well,
can,
when you're talking about looking for sponsors,
yeah.
it does involve a sales effort. And the good news is that Laughter Saves Lives has a lot to offer the sponsors in terms of advertising opportunities, being associated with a good charity for a good cause.
VP.
So really, it's when you have a good product and service in terms of sales, it's you're doing these people a favor. You're offering them an opportunity.
Why Les Degen is the VP? Because Les,
He's good.
Yeah,
He's good.
He won't
He's
let me.
good.
He won't let me speak to anybody because he knows I'm going to screw it up. Because I'll just say, "Hey, how you doing? Give us some money." You know, you can't do that. Les has the approach. Now, I don't know if she's Jewish.
And he's super, super likable too.
Yes, very
And
likable.
You want to know what else? You trust less.
You do. You do.
You do trust him. I mean, you don't trust him less. You trust
him
more.
more.
Very good. Very good.
Did you see the play on words? John Moore Larocchia?
I just saw. I see that now. I get it. John Moore Larocchia,
as opposed to Les Degen.
That's right.
All right, let's. Anybody else you think that we should approach that you think you could land?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
Me or you? He's asking.
Well, I'm working on some things. I'm working on some things. We have a good meeting set up tomorrow at 1:00 with a pretty nice profile nonprofit organization. We're talking to them about doing a show with them. So that's
Rich
a good thing.
That's all Rich out of here. Now Richie's got to be on the show.
Wait, what was that?
Who's what? Well, Les, yeah. Who's taking that meeting? Am I on that meeting list?
And Rich, you give me the other $20 when I finish. Okay.
Les Degen, people. Les, hang out in the waiting room. We may want you back if Rich is really horrible tonight.
I feel horrible tonight.
We're up. You know what? Let's go to our first commercial break.
All right. It was nice to see everybody. God bless.
Yeah, don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, hang out. Okay. Let's go to our first commercial break, and then we'll come back with Rich Walker.
Okay.
Rich Walker.
Hi, I'm Michael Barish, managing partner of Barish, McGarry, Salzman and Penson. We are honored
First commercial
to
break.
represent over 11,000 people in the 9/11 community. The people who work at my law firm can really relate to what the 9/11 community is going through because they're going through it too.
So my dad's name was Billy Gormley, and he was a fireman on 9/11.
My father also was a firefighter, and he did report down there as well on 9/11.
My dad, Alan, worked on the 104th floor of the second tower. He was an IT technician.
My father was a fire inspector.
My husband, his name is David Velez. He was a detective with the NYPD, and if I can help anybody that is going through exactly what I have gone through for the last 17, 18 years and make their life just a little bit better, then you know what? I love coming to work every single day.
You know, this is a genuine office. Like, people are really sincere.
The best part of my job is the clients. Every once in a while, you'll hear in their voice how grateful they are for the work that we do.
We take this personally, and we will not rest unless we help everybody we can before this victim compensation fund ends in 2 years. And we will be fighting to get this thing extended past 2020 because cancer isn't going to stop afflicting the 9/11 community.
Barish and McGarry, our signature sponsor.
Yes, they are.
Yes. You know what I wanted to bring up? Number one, rest in peace. Rest in peace, Spring Valley firefighter Jared Lloyd. We all saw it on the news this week. A volunteer firefighter from, I guess, Spring Valley we consider upstate. When we live down here in Long Island. Volunteer firefighter Jared Lloyd. He did have a family, did have some kids. He died in a nursing home fire. And supposedly, from what I read, he went in a few times. They got out, I think, over 100 residents, if I remember correctly. We're going to be contacting them this week and seeing if Laughter Saves Lives can do anything for the family. But I just wanted to say rest in peace to Jared Lloyd. Also, on a happier note, happy 50th birthday to Chef Pat Marone. 50.
Yeah.
He doesn't look a day over 60. Don't you think, Rich?
He looks fantastic.
Fantastic.
You know why? Because he keeps in shape.
He keeps in shape. What shape is that?
What shape is that?
Oh, that's not right. Because Pat's got to be here.
Come on, John.
I know.
It's not nice. He's a friend of our show.
I love Pat Marone. You know that. Happy birthday, Pat Marone. He does a wonderful job at the assisted care facility where he works, entertaining the guests there with his personality. He's the chef, but he goes well beyond cooking the food. And Leslie knows what it's like to be in those places and how important it is to have people and staff like Pat Marone. And I
never performed at his place. Have you?
I have not. Les has, I think.
I perform my musical program there regularly over the last few years.
Let me ask you a question, Les.
Yes.
How's the food? How's the food when you're there?
What?
Is it pureed?
I usually pack something and bring my own.
All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to throw Les back in the waiting room, and we're going to bring out our...
Rich, do you know those prison movies where the warden... Never mind. I'll see you later.
All right.
Over the balcony.
Let's bring out Ernie Stevens. Ernie, where is he? Police officer, sergeant. Ernie, what are you? A sergeant, lieutenant? What are you?
I'm retired, man. That's what I am.
What was your last title?
A patrol officer with San Antonio Police Department.
So you were like me. You didn't study.
Well, yeah.
I kid you, my friend. I kid you. Thank you so much for taking the time to be on our show.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
And also, I see in the comments you already gave us a little bada bing. Sounds like an ARP commercial.
Hey, man. Well, right when I tuned in, y'all were talking about blood sugar and vertigo, and I'm like, man, I'm turning 50 this year. I think I just got set up for an AARP commercial.
I know. It was a rough week medically. Hey, people are a lot. That's how my dad always says. That's how my dad. You know, I don't know what I'm thinking. There are people who are worse than me. You know, he's always saying, there's people worse than me. But then he goes on and complains, you know, for an hour. That's what I sounded like this week. But let me tell you, Vertigo is no fun. No fun.
No.
So, Ernie, give us a little background for Rich and I. Even though I did do, you know, I do a lot of research when I have a guest. But can you give us your background, how you started getting into law enforcement and all that?
I mean, we know already. We
know.
want
yes.
the people to know.
All right, so it's not going to do me good to lie about this. So I started in law enforcement here. I'm born and raised in San Antonio, Texas. So I started law enforcement back in 1992 with a small department, lasted there for a couple of years, and then I transitioned to the San Antonio Police Department, where I worked for the last 26 years. And while I was there, you know, I did a lot of various units, kind of like most officers do. They kind of bounce around a little bit. Right. But my niche towards the end of my career for the last 12 years was the establishment of a mental health unit. And really bringing that together, watching it grow, watching it interact within the community. And in doing so, it got a lot of attention, national attention. And before you know it, you know, HBO picked up a documentary about us and it won an Emmy Award. So it's been a great ride. Yeah.
Very cool. And so important. We've seen, like, I've seen cases up here, you know, somebody had a mental health issue and they tasered him and he fell off the roof, hit his head, and the guy died or whatever. But it must be dangerous. You're responding now. Where is your backup? Are you wearing guns when you respond to one of these things?
Yeah, so in San Antonio, the way we worked, we were doubled up. My partner Joe, of course, that's the name in the documentary, Ernie and Joe, Texas cops.
I know we tried to get Joe tonight. He wasn't available, so
and he's a New Yorker. He's a New Yorker.
Maybe we can get Ernie. Joe's not available. I'm kidding.
So, you know, but what was different about us, what you see across the nation is, you know, we responded in plain clothes, just a T-shirt, some blue jeans. You know, our badge was tucked in our shirt. We did carry a firearm. But for the most part, it was very non-threatening, just an everyday approach, which I think helped us, you know, because in 12 years, we had one use of force, and it really was just kind of like a little wrestling match. It wasn't anything major. So, you know, I think the way that we approached this and the way that we built this unit in San Antonio has been looked at and modeled upon in many other places.
What other places took your idea and went with it?
Well, we got places down in South Texas in the Rio Grande Valley, FAR Police Department with Chief Andy Harvey. They're getting a lot of praise for what they're doing down there. I was up in Fort Collins, Colorado. They're doing a co-responder unit where they actually place a clinician in the vehicle with them, and they're in plain clothes. So there are people that are looking at it. Some wear a soft uniform. Some are still in a full uniform. So it's really policy and procedure based on your department.
Rich, from your preparation for the interview, you have any questions?
Yeah, well, I have something very interesting, because you don't see a lot of this anywhere, right, Ernie? It's rare in the police.
It's rare. Yeah, it's rare because, you know, we're a very large department where the majority of police departments, the average size is 12 officers. So it's very difficult to have a dedicated unit like that.
So let me ask you this, and let me say the dirty word here. Would this be what they would be calling, what was the term? Not defunding the police, but funding it in other areas.
Yeah,
would this fall into that category?
You know, a little bit, but it's kind of a shell game, because what they did here in San Antonio was they took money that was paying for civilians, for example, that were attached to a family violence unit, and they took that money away and they just gave it over to the Department of Health Services, who then employed the same civilians and put them in the same spot. So it looks like they took money from the police department, but all they did was move it around a little bit.
Right. So would somebody like San Antonio, you would seek to get more funding from, you know, the governor's office, let's say, to help fund this? Or is it a town thing or a county?
Right. So there's I love this question because I never really get a chance to talk about it. You can approach funding a couple of different ways. You can chase the grants, which are very difficult to get, and when you do get them, they are earmarked specifically for what you can use the money for. What happened in San Antonio was very unique. They had the hospital systems and the treatment facilities all put in a certain amount of money, which ended up being about 1.2 million. With that money, they hired 2 full-time police officers that were mental health certified. I was one of them. 2 San Antonio paramedics, and then 5 clinicians and a psychiatrist. And then what we did was we identified the highest utilizers in San Antonio that were being hospitalized the most involuntarily. So we knew who they were. So with that money, we used it to go out and pre-engage the crisis before the call even came in through 911. And in doing so, we could use the money for medications, transportation, ID recovery, food stamps, you name it. It wasn't earmarked for anything. And what the data showed was that the amount of hospitalizations for those patients that were walking in regularly all the time to the ERs went down enormously because now we were closing the gaps in service.
This is so important. I am so glad. So you're one of the founders, or you spearheaded this in the very beginning. And now it just seems like every day, especially any kind of, I would say a sizable police department has to have this. I mean, it would.
Doesn't the NYPD have something like this?
So I was up in New York in 2019 in December, and we spoke to your, I guess y'all have a peer support team up there in New York. And we did a private screening for them. There was about 80 of them, and one of the police commissioners were there. And we talked about our approach. And I think theirs was more of an internal unit to help the officers that are struggling internally, which I love. But I don't know how much of that was a specialized unit to respond to the community as these calls come in from mental health crises.
One thing that I want, first of all, this is the first, Richie asked you a question and you said, I love this question. You're the first guest that's ever said that to Rich.
Yeah.
It's usually like somebody rolling their eyes and walking off. But good job, Rich.
Sometimes my picture on the screen just disappears.
We lost Rich again.
Oh, he must have signed off by accident.
But I think what's important here, and maybe the NYPD is doing this, and I think they are, is the whole department gets some of this training, correct?
They do, but the CIT training or the crisis intervention training is very decentralized, right? And what I mean by that is there's no specific program that's set up nationally for departments to follow. What we did in San Antonio was we followed the Memphis model, which is 40 hours of mental health training with extensive role plays. A lot of departments can't afford to send the manpower to a 40-hour training, or they just don't have the time for it. So they'll look at what does the state require and do a little checkbox and say, hey, we gave our 8 hours this year. We're good. And you're not good because, mental health is becoming a spotlight in society right now, especially with COVID. We've seen a lot of self-medicating going on with drugs this year because of that, and alcohol. And we're having to change our response. And we have to shift the pendulum to the priority now is the community's mental health. And are we doing a good job? And are we as a police department mentally well enough to even serve them? Right? Because internally we have our own problems that we need to break down stigma and talk about it.
Interesting. Ernie, could you just hang with us? We just got to go to commercial.
Absolutely.
I will be right back with Ernie Stevens. Life Hack.
When someone is choking, brain damage can occur after just 4 minutes. Did you know every 5 days a child dies because of a choking accident?
My name is Art Lee. I invented LifeVac to protect my family. LifeVac is an easy-to-use suction device with a special one-way valve to help save a choking victim.
I care for my dad, who's prone to choking. Having LifeVac in my home gives me peace of mind.
Protect your family. Buy LifeVac now.
Thank you, Dad. Call 1-877-LifeVac or visit lifevac.net.
We're back.
Yeah, Ernie has to give us 10 minutes of stand-up. Our comic just canceled on us.
Uh-oh.
No, not true, not true. So what are you doing now, Ernie? And you like, I'm retired, and I'm, my kids go, oh, my dad's retired. I'm working 4 jobs, stuff that I enjoy. On top of comedy, I teach. I teach around the country. I've been to your wonderful state a number of times. I love it down there. What are you doing now?
So I did not stay retired very long because the honeydew list got longer and the pay sucked. So I got hired as a contractor with the Department of Defense, and now my job is to train the Master of Arms program for the United States Navy's security forces.
Wow.
Wow.
Sounds impressive, but both Rich and I, Rich clap, but we don't know what that means. What is the Master of Arms program? I'm sorry, Rich, did you know what that meant? Because I didn't know.
Yeah, he's the master of the arms.
The arm.
Come on, John.
Hey, John, what the hell is? Come on, man.
Well, I didn't work out today. That's why.
See, John goes under the hazmat thing. How he's in hazmat.
Ernie, I can't have a lot of muscles in those hazmat suits. You understand? So
I understand. Yeah, it'll slow down your quarter mile.
Yes.
So the Master of Arms program in the Navy is basically their version of security forces like the military police. They brought the program back and they started a specialized school called their C School, which I teach there and prepare them to return back to their fleet as military police officers in the Navy.
Very cool.
Cool.
So, are there any charities that you're affiliated with when we come back to Texas, because we already have a few locations we're going to hit, or something we could do online to help you guys with? Laughter Saves Lives. What can we do?
Yeah. So NAMI, San Antonio National Alliance for the Mental Illness.
Right.
That's always just been our foundation. That's the reason my entire career path changed from being sexy with policing and kicking in doors to responding to nothing but mental health calls. It was because a family member told her story about her son that has mental illness, and it just shook me to my core. And now, that's a foundational organization that we work with.
Very good. So, so we can make a donation to this organization?
Absolutely.
All right. Do you think we could do a show online and you guys could sell an online ticket for a show? You would do an intro. You would come on. You could show the cannons in the beginning. We'll do a little Ernie stuff. We'll bring. By the way, Rich Walker, many experiences kicking outdoors, getting away from audiences.
Getting thrown out of doors, right?
Yes.
It's closing time. Get out.
So share that with Butch. Do you think something like that would work? Because Rich and I would love to put together a show.
Sure.
Raise some money. That would be fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're very funny, Ernie. Don't judge it by this show.
Okay.
And half of the show we do talk about nutritional and medical issues that we're having.
Right.
Yes.
And John's mental issues. We go through the whole gamut.
In fact, in the last 10 minutes, I will be talking about a new rash that I have the last 2 days. Rich. But Ernie, we can't thank you enough.
John, Ernie's a very important man.
He is. Do you have a website or something, Ernie?
No, man. But I did just connect with you on LinkedIn since I heard you talking about it. Rich, you're going to have to step up your game, man.
Me too.
I'm on LinkedIn. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah, listen.
I think I have 175 people waiting for me to okay their friendship.
You are killing it.
Rich is waiting until he gets enough work to make a resume. So he can be on LinkedIn is what it is. But
I'm on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter, and
I have bankers that want to be my friend. I'm like, you got the wrong guy. I'm not unable to help you.
Ernie, thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks, Ernie.
Thank you, guys.
Very interesting.
You were a lot of fun. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Great job. So our hero segment tonight, that was Ernie. He was in the hero segment. If you were thinking,
he was a good one, John.
Yeah. If you were thinking the hero segment, who was the hero segment? Was it Les? Was it Rich? Or was it Ernie? It was Ernie. If you were trying to figure that out. Rich.
But I asked good questions.
Rich.
He liked He really loved
rocked that interview with the preparation that you gave that in. Did you look at the video we sent you?
I looked at the I read the inscription on the link.
Ernie's name. You read Ernie's name.
I read the link
and you didn't even know if it was Ernie or Bob. You were like, "Oh, let's see who it is." I read two names. What an interesting guy.
I didn't. It was 10 minutes in before I realized that wasn't Les.
You know what? Let's go to our last commercial and let's bring Les back and we'll have a little audience when Billy comes on.
Yeah, let's have fun.
Jack, put your phone away.
Hey guys.
Hi, how you doing?
What can I get you?
You guys want appetizers?
For some reason, I just got a craving for smoked meat.
Well, you ordered something already. The menu hasn't changed. You looked at it 3 times.
I don't know what I want yet.
I wanted chicken, but I think it's blackened, so I'll have a burger.
How'd you like that cooked?
Medium.
Do you have any specials? Specials? Boss, what are specials?
What's the matter? You don't know the specials?
Look at this smoke.
What smoke?
We gotta get these dumps clean.
Nah, they're fine.
You know what? We're just gonna take our order to go, okay?
In business since 2003, MCN duct cleaning is the result of many years of research and continuing education. Realizing the need to provide a safer and cleaner environment for families on Long Island, MCN services both residential and commercial properties by cleaning dryer vents, fireplaces, HVAC systems, and so much more. This not only improves air quality, but it could also reduce your energy bills by making things run more efficiently. So, if you want to make your house or business safer and cut down on your bills in the process, give our friend Matt over at MCN a call now.
Is that steak well done?
Maybe call a little bit sooner than these guys did.
I have to comment on that commercial. First of all, John, you were the most talented. But when Matt showed up, it wasn't the ducks after all. It was just Pat Marone's cooking. Was that bad?
That's a great commercial.
Isn't it good?
Yeah.
That
was done when Pat was only 49.
That's right. 48, really. After that last
the commercial went a little long. They should have just cut the end.
Yeah, after that last interview, we just got a call from Uncle Giuseppe's. They're going to sponsor us with a sausage because that's it. That's all they're giving us, sausage. But they said, Rich asked a wonderful question. They said, Barish and McGarry cut their sponsorship in half. But we are back. Unless, as an outsider looking at that last interview, did Rich and I just rock that interview? Was that just...
Let me tell you.
Speechless.
That was CBS 60 Minutes-esque.
Did he say CBS or CBS? Did he say CBS?
The only thing missing was
BS.
I'm Scott Pelley. That was Rich Walker and John Larocchia.
That was beautiful interview. I told you.
I just want to know if you can reach back far enough to pat yourself on the back. Can you reach it?
Don't, John. You'll get vertigo again.
I think the preparation. Rich Walker was awesome. And we're going to do this after each interview. We're going to rate the interview, I think.
That's great.
1 to 10, I think that was an 11. An 11.
You want to know what it reminded me of?
And it was
one year when I worked for an insurance company, they had a big executive meeting, like 200 people in this room, and I wasn't paying attention. And the big boss goes, Rich, what do you think about that? And I just spewed out nothing. I went, well, it all depends on the relativity of the angle of the situation. And blah, blah, blah. And after the meeting, they're all coming up to me. What a fine young man you are. Very astute. And I was like, I said nothing.
We should mention though. Ernie was a great guest.
He was.
We should mention. You can go on to HBO Go, I think it's called, or HBO, whatever the new HBO is. I forget.
On demand, probably.
Yeah, on demand. You can watch it.
Wait. Hold on. Rich and I obviously were not prepared. And you don't even know now what HBO it's on. You're supposed
It's on all the HBOs. It's Ernie and Joe Crisis Cops. Ernie and Joe Crisis Cops.
Ernie and Joe Crisis Cops.
Yep, it was I watched it 2 days ago. It was fantastic.
Uncle Giuseppe's. What do you got? They just threw in 2 meatballs. We're getting there. Uncle Giuseppe's next sponsor for Laughter Saves Lives.
John, what are we going to do now that you can't have chicken parm if we go back to the studio?
Well, that's not necessarily true. I can have chicken parm and maybe a little pasta with a big salad.
Little pasta.
Very little. I can have 2 noodles. 2 noodles. I can have a noodles as small as my little one.
We don't have to eat that huge portion like you did last time of pasta.
It's not necessary. It's not necessary.
I can't eat pasta for a week.
Do we
have to talk about this during Passover, guys?
That's what I just said. I can't eat it for a week.
Right.
Do we?
I had gefilte fish for dinner.
Ugh. Do we know? Do we have the gala flyer? Does Bobby have the gala flyer?
I believe so.
Bobby, can you bring up? Is Bobby paying attention again, or is he back in the other room making some?
Bobby's
there. It is.
That's not the right one, but that's okay.
Yeah,
I'll get the right one.
I don't see it.
You can put the other one up, Bobby.
Yeah, that was it.
I don't.
No.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Nope, that's the wrong date. But May 22nd is the new date. We're looking for sponsors for the events. Of course, donations. We're gonna have some comics, some singers, and some of our friends. Les Degen will be singing a 2-2. I think I want to try to sing one with him if he'll allow me to have some fun with him.
I'd be honored.
Will you come, Les? We're both vaccinated. Rich, are you vaccinated up yet?
April 15th is my second vaccine.
All right, so you can't
I get my second tomorrow.
You can't play with us, Rich, until 2 weeks after that, right? 2 weeks.
Why not?
You gotta wait 2 weeks after the vaccine.
No, but I had my first vaccine already. They said after 2 weeks you're at 80%.
Yeah, well, I want more of a percent. I want more of a percent.
I had the Moderna.
Yeah, well,
I got the Pfizer.
Yeah, so I want. So Les and I. Will you come studio May 22nd, Rich and Les in studio?
Yeah.
All right. Oh,
why not?
I wanted to say something that's really cool, guys. You guys.
Wait a minute. I don't know. Les, are you still driving?
Am I still driving?
Did they take the keys away? Is what he wants to know. That's so rude, Rich.
Oh, whoa.
Very rude.
Talking about the new marijuana laws.
Yeah.
Oh, what does that mean? Les is heavy on the cannabis.
We'll leave that to the viewers.
All right, look what I got here. Look what I got here. I don't know if you can see what this is.
It's a cassette tape.
Can you read it?
No.
September 10th. Something to. Wow, the day before September 11th.
September 10th, Brides to Be, 2001.
Wait, one more. Stay there. Stay there.
September 24th, 2001.
Debbie does
Getting Back Normal.
Those are the 2 shows. The last show I recorded with Tommy Gardner the night before 9/11. I found these in my drawer. And that was, obviously we didn't know 9/11 was going to be the next day. So we did a show, Brides to Be. I don't know. I think we had some brides on. We had some fun with it. But this one was a very, very emotional show. With that, the first one, I called Monty and Lund joined me in the studio because I said I don't know if I'm going to make it through the show. We actually got an extra hour that night. I tell the story so much, and we did a 2-hour show. And what we did was we asked callers to call in and tell us a time somebody that was missing in the World Trade Center made you laugh or smile. And the phones rang for 2 hours straight. We used to get like one call, 2 calls.
Where is that? At WGBB?
WGBB in Freeport. Let's bring in Billy's here, right?
Yeah, Billy's getting set up. Give him a couple minutes.
Oh, all right. Because that's why I wanted less too, because I want more of an audience for Billy.
There we go. There's the new one.
There's the new flyer. It's going to be a fun night. This is going to be a fun night. Next year we're going to go back to the Armor Tank Museum.
Oh, that's
We
great.
got to give we're trying to get Richie in the inner circle of Laughter Saves Lives. Now we got to make him an offer to get him away from his teaching class. I think we can find a number that Richie may come over. Or maybe every other week we can get him. Butch.
It's very hard. I'm the teacher. How do you take me away from my students?
I know. Put a package together, Butch. What's going on here? Where is this man?
There we go. Now we can see him.
We can hardly hear you, Billy.
He's on stage.
Where is he?
You can't hear me?
Get a little closer and put.
No, it's not getting closer.
I think he wants to do his act.
Hello.
Yeah, that's
his head is cut off.
There we go.
There we go. No, almost.
Who's working the camera, Billy?
Now we can see him.
Dave Hannigan working the camera.
Thank you for working the camera for Billy. Billy, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, John. How are you? We're in Hot Pod right now.
Beautiful hot dog.
Beautiful place right before the open mic. Hosted by Brandon Lacaruba. I think I'm pronouncing that right.
So you're actually at an open mic right now?
It's before the open mic. You let me do some stage time for your show.
Oh, that's so nice of them. Who's running the open mic?
Brandon Lacaruba.
Tell him thank you very much for allowing us to do a video of this at his open mic.
Oh, I think he heard you. I think he's very thankful too.
So Billy, what you're on the show for is we close the show with some yucks. We want a comic to come on, give us the shtick. Rich and I have been trying to do some yucks in the first half of the show. I think we cracked each other up more than anybody else.
Yeah.
I'm going to miss Rich Walker, though, because he's going back to teaching, and I'm going to be crying.
You can always go to
Rich
Wednesdays.
Walker is one of the best.
He's one of the best. So, Billy, why don't you give us a few minutes of straight shtick?
We'll get
Ladies
right
and
into
gentlemen,
it, John. That
Billy
is why
Geyer.
I'm here. Well, we don't really have a crowd here, so I can't really do any crowd work. But let's start with Corona.
Yeah.
Coronavirus is a lot like Jim Carrey movies. Okay, it keeps getting dumb and dumber, and you know what? I really hate the mask. I'm gonna say it right now. Hell, guys, during quarantine, I felt a lot like Ray Charles. I wasn't playing piano or anything. I just wished I could see people. COVID-19, just like chunky peanut butter, I don't like how it spreads. You heard it here, folks. You heard it here. Oh my God, guys. My favorite part of quarantine was when the country needed ventilators, but everybody kind of just wanted a tiger. You remember that? That was a good time, guys. Oh my God. So I'm happy the winter's over, man. I realized something this winter, I did. If you lay in the middle of the road making snow angels for long enough, you can become a real angel. That's what I realized. I remember when I was a kid, me and my friends, we used to throw snowballs at cars. Sadly, those snowballs was also the name of my cat. So, I've never really been popular, everybody. I always wanted to be popular. One time I tried to fit in and sit with the cool kids in the cafeteria. They didn't want to sit with me, probably because I was the janitor. I was the janitor. I grew up a fat kid. Yes, I did. And when you grow up a fat kid, you do experience a good deal of name calling. Hell, I've heard it all. Bitch tits, lard ass, fat fuck. He said this to my dad when he was drunk. Messed up, I know, guys, but we could go back to Silly Town. Stay with me. So sometimes I like to fill in all my stretch marks with black magic marker and pretend I'm a zebra. That's what I like to do in my time, guys. I don't like having stretch marks, even though they do kind of help me relate more to my students. I also teach a Lamaze class. You heard it here. Hey, did you guys know every time a fat person swims naked, a manatee is born? Did you know that? Let me tell you guys something. I have really fat thighs. So when I walk and run, they'll rub together. So at times, it kind of feels like my thighs are making a Play-Doh snake with my ball bag. I don't know if you guys ever made Play-Doh snakes growing up, but that joke really does bring me back. I gotta tell you guys something. I got pink eye sleeping at my friend's house in Brooklyn. And let me tell you, I'm starting to think that's why they call it Bed-Stuy. You gotta love living here on Long Island, man. You ever look at Long Island on the map? It's just this little thing that hangs off the rest of the country. We're kind of like America's skin tag, you know, just dangling there.
Hey, Billy.
There's some bad neighborhoods, though, here on Long Island. I was at this hood party this one time. You know, in the hood, shank, shank, bang, bang. Guy comes up to me, right? Starts throwing up all these gang signs at me. So what did I do? I knocked him the hell out. Found out later the guy was deaf. Poor guy. Seemed all he needed was directions to the bathroom. I don't know, John. I don't know. How are we doing on time?
How are we doing on time, Butch?
We've got about a minute or two.
Minute
or two? All right. We could go for a minute or two, my lord. What else is going on? So, trying to remember all my clean jokes, John.
Billy.
Hey, let me tell you. You know we should never do drugs with a pirate?
Why?
You might get hooked. Come on. Let's home for the kids.
Let's end on that, Billy. Let's end on that. Great job.
Thank you, everybody. Thank
Billy,
you.
Miss you, brother. Can't wait to see you in person.
Very funny.
Can't wait
Thanks
to see you in
for letting me be
person.
a part of this, John. I really appreciate it. Laughter saves lives.
We miss you, Billy. Billy Geyer, very funny, very funny.
Thank you.
Johnny Clark likes Billy. One of our biggest fans. Hey, John Clark. Let's thank Barish and McGarry for being our sponsor. Ernie Stevens for coming in tonight from Texas. And Rich Walker for asking a good question. Les Degen for coming.
I earned my keep.
Yes. Les Degen for coming on tonight and talking about our sponsors and adding some yucks and all that good stuff. And Butch Seltzer for putting together a package to attract Rich Walker. We'll be working on that package this week, Butch.
That's what I want to do. I want to work on a package for Rich Walker.
Yeah.
You know what you do, John? When I'm not here, just pretend you double booked it. And I couldn't be there.
Every week.
Wait, is this actually your last show until we can figure things out?
Next week.
Yeah.
Next week, no?
April 6th is my first class. So
all right. All right.
I'm so sorry. I'm going to miss this show.
No.
You missed it by that much.
It's so much fun.
You look very exciting in front of that chair, too, Richie. That chair really, makes you look so much better.
This
Looks
is
like
my
a chair from
Costco chair.
it's like from the Partridge Family or something.
Say
It's
hello to you.
honeycomb.
While you're visiting, say hello to your grandmother, by the way.
I will.
All right, we got to go, right, Butch?
Bobby, we got just hold up a finger. What do we got?
Oh, he'll hold up a finger.
What's going on with Les? What are you
1
doing
minute.
this week, Les?
Les, you got anything first?
Well, no, I was going to say, Rich is still with Laughter Saves Lives because on Tuesday nights he will be grooming future Laughter Saves Lives feature and headlining performers.
There you go.
And Laughter Saves Lives Heroes Tour. We're working on it. I'm very excited about it. Les is going to be working on a little too. Butch is working on it, and Rich Walker will be on some of the shows. So we're going to have Rich on. Rich, do we have you on that booking next weekend?
What is that?
April 10th.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yes, I'm on that one. If I'm not, I told John last week. I go, John, in my book, I have a show that we're doing tomorrow night. And he goes, no, we don't. I go, it's in my book. It says John Larocchia show. And he goes, we don't have it.
And you know,
he goes, that was moved.
Yeah, here's the thing. I didn't even blame Rich. I didn't even for a second think it was Rich's mistake. I know it was my mistake.
It's actually, listen, it's April 10th. Actually, we have a great show. It's for Blue Lives Matters K9.
That's right.
So they're the ones who
doing that.
Yeah, you are doing that show.
You are doing that.
Yeah. They supply or they train the K9s for
Blue Lives.
For a bunch of different police departments throughout the area. So that's going to be a great show.
Doesn't Bobby have a show after this?
Yes, Bobby does. So we're going to leave.
We gotta go.
Okay. Believe me, Bobby will cut us off when we have to go.
Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Good night.
Great seeing you.
Bye, Les. Thank you.
Take care, everyone.
Bye, John. Bye, Butch.
Get vaccine.
Bye, Rocky. Whatever the dog's.
See you, Don Vito Corleone.
Bobby's.
Good night.
Bye,
Good night.
Bobby.
Have a pleasant evening.
Leather gloves, we're slapping in hands. Popcorn and peanuts, we're working the stands. Pink cotton candy, love on a stick. He's chasing the deer that circle the lips. Play ball, play ball. Roll up the bases and smack it right over the wall.
Play ball.
Play ball.